Welcome to Paradigm Review Show. Ross G. I'm your host, Mac the Critic. He's my co-host. Topic of this evening would be Joker Rising 2, The Clown Prince. Shout out to Smoking Alien Productions. You've seen us live with Joker Rising Part 1 in one of our last editions. You can check that show out here. We will have the entire... So this is a independent, full-length feature film. We'll have the whole thing linked here, so if you want to stop in case we do spoilers and go watch it and come back here, it's on you, and I'll put the trailers and links in the end. Where we left off with Joker Rising 1, I think we were all pretty happy with it as far as, how things went. I had some slight quality issues, which I had articulated to them in the comments, and they recommended that I watch Part 2, which I clearly, Stephen A. Smith voice, have gone ahead and did, and man... definitely stepped it way up on quality, I would say, at the very least. If I'm not mistaken, this has a lower budget than Joker Rising 1 had. Great effects, great camera work, camera quality, even sound has been greatly improved. I was really, I think the sound was just a little bit low in parts of Part 1. Pretty much no quality critique for me on this one. Graphic work, good. Camera angles, good. Definitely original directing style. Shout out to Alec Gearhart. Even some of those upper aerial drone shots, I think we have a few of those for the driving scenes and however they got those. So quality pretty good. You have anything on it initially, Mac? As far as
definitely. I'll say where they really stepped up was, the camera work on all that. Especially when the one you mentioned, like the drone shots and such. Mm-hmm. I think. Now they really took liberty with the camera on this one, and that's what I really like to see. The first one you can see they were trying, but it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good.
It's probably just challenging for what they're.
Yeah, it was just a bit challenging. Yeah, exactly, and they didn't take as much liberty as they could with that. But in this one they really stepped it up. It's almost like like they just had a few ideas they felt like they watched the first one and felt like this one could use this and it could use this one.
Agreed.
The sequel could be this, and that's a good thing to always review your own work and just see what could be worked on, and I think this was a perfect example of it, based off camera wise and such, so yeah,
absolutely.
I definitely give it credit to that, and I'll say the acting gap was just as decent, as the first, so.
Yeah, I'd say it was better in my opinion.
I say it was way better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was way better.
Even added a few extra characters. You know what I mean?
I like that.
The Batman gangsters. You know what I mean? Maroni and what's his name? Galante. You know what I mean? Carmine Galante and all that. And I forgot the Irish guy's name in that one, but I mean, way better. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just sending some initial tweets, guys. You can check in with us, hit us with your feedback. My tag is below. Mac is usually on there with me. Give us any theories, thoughts, commentary, feedback. What'd you guys think of Joker Rising 2 in the comments? And without further ado, we'll get into it. So, as Mac was saying, this has been out for a while. I think we're sitting at, 2.3 million views, almost 2.5 million views, if I'm not correct. I think that went up a crap ton since I last watched it. So shout out to you guys. Kudos to you. And thank you for the subscribe. You guys rock. Everybody who came through and gave us feedback last time on the last review. So I seen it once all the way through, and then I revisited it for my notes with Mac today because he's seen it pretty freshly, more fresh than I have. Starts off fresh in the alleyway, the meeting of the gangs. Slightly cliche the way it ends, but at the same time, I do like the way it played out. It did look awesome. Like Mac was saying, the Irish gang, Dent and his faction, the Italians, basically all the cartels, all the crime lords, and who called the meeting and such. And I do like the dark look. I like the shadow on Harvey's face, 50-50. You know what I mean? So you can't really see his scars. And they did a good job on Harvey. He looks good with the aesthetic, physical prop effects for his burn victim injury. So I think most people said he had the they liked his performance the best as far as Harvey Dent. So we could get into what we think about that later, but it basically pops off. I mean, a typical Joker Rising trilogy, they kind of throw you into the fray there, and it pops off relatively quickly as they're kind of setting up the story You know, and you could clearly see what's going on as that scene ends. So, you have anything on that, Mac, as far as how you like first scene, how you like the that's Chris Moss who plays Harvey Dent. How you liked that intro?
Now the intro was pretty good. I mean, I'd say definitely Harvey Dent, you know, Two-Face. I think his character was by far the best in this movie just because of how he played it out, you know, the eccentric gangster.
Everyone said that.
Scarred for life and all. Yeah, man. He definitely put it in on this one. And, you know what I mean? Like everyone else, you know, they played like their typical gangster role and all that. But this one, obviously, if you're going to be Harvey Dent Two-Face, you got to stand out, you know. So
yeah, I
definitely
agree.
did stood out on this one. I definitely agree with that. So it was a good introduction. I say so.
Yeah, I say he's not at Aaron Eckhart level, but he's definitely better than Tommy Lee, Batman Forever. So
yeah, Tommy Lee was just at like the Joker playing Two-Face. I didn't get that shit.
Everyone says that. Everyone always says that. Don't get me wrong, Tommy Lee Jones is a man, but it just didn't work when it tried to pan down.
I think he didn't read the comics. I think he just thought every freaking Batman villain was crazy.
Was Joker, you know what I mean? Like, no, man, the guy needs to step it up. So, yeah, you know, I do like the pacing and the story and the plot of the way this movie plays out. Like the whole concept they went with, it definitely somewhat original, and I do really like how it plays out later on. Maybe we'll get into Batman a little bit. So Mac was questioning me on his wardrobe costume here, and I'm not too sure why he goes with the pea coat over the bat suit look. I mean, my only thing is, if he's strolling the streets late night as a vigilante, if we're doing some sort of realism thing, maybe he's trying to blend in with the Gen Pop. And I'm going to bring this comment up again later, and Mac knows where I'm going to go with it. But I'm going to let you take it from there, Mac.
Okay. Like, I get it, you know, with the trench. Okay, you wear a trench coat and you got the mask and all that. Yeah. But I think that's something that would be good if it was a starter Batman. But this is like how it was acted out in the movie. It was like he was there for years watching over Gotham fighting crime.
He has a relationship with the LE and shit. Like they wouldn't know him if he hadn't been around. So.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, I saw the apparel he had underneath the
utility belt
trench coat. Yeah, and you telling me they couldn't design a cape? Like seriously, like. But that's my thing. It's like, Batman wore a cape and all that. He was getting shot at a lot and all that. And like all, a bulletproof cape, and like a bulletproof trench coat.
I'm thinking a bulletproof trench coat is actually kind of fresh, but that's more like a futuristic Blade Runner Batman. You know what I mean? But friggin' like. I don't think he needs the cape unless he's flying. If he's not doing the like Dark Knight like jetting between the buildings thing, it's kind of like.
Yeah, but my thing is like that's the Batman look. You know what I mean? That's what people recognize Batman. You know what I mean? Like he has to. He was hovering over the buildings. Like I know he was sliding down rooftops and all that. But
it makes sense. It makes sense.
But it's still like you got to make it like Batman. You got to do Batman. But,
so when he chases down the pedo ring guy and beats him savagely in the street, friggin', I do like the look of like the empty streets of him jetting down the sidewalks and crap, and then like that one part with the stairs when he comes sprinting out, he sprints up the stairs like that. That's and he's like looking at the building like that's like I like how the camera came up from the ground and followed him. That was a cool shot. They have a crazy blooper of it when that dude was doing that sprint and he slipped right in front of those stairs. And they're like, "Dude, are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." But that was an ill sprint he had going there. I think they have the bloopers on the channel. If you check it, it's worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, when you're gonna do a Batman character, though, my thing is like, there's some things they could have taken liberty of with this character too. Like, for example, like I understand Batman, he's very brawling, beat him up and all that. He has his kung fu and all that, but they could have like taken liberty, like mind you, they had like in certain scenes in the movies they had like dark places and such. He's in the shadows. That Batman's he's the man in the shadows. He could have taken one of them like how Batman would have done it. You know what I mean? Took him to the shadows and beat him up and.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tie him up, and after that, go to the next guy. But
like Michael Keaton in Batman 1, he did that for the first like 20 scenes. He was just like grabbing guys and nabbing them into the shadow. Like, but I mean, maybe they stayed away from it just because you've seen a lot of it. But yeah, it's Batman. We got to see him do that 2 or 3 times. Also, I would have liked to seen more gadgets. I'm sure it's a budgetary thing, but like, we'll get to the end, obviously, that big fight at the end. Like, I don't picture him really walking into a room of 20 guys without, like, throwing some nets or throwing some smoke bombs, some distractions, because why are you just going to walk directly up to someone if, you know, like, you're going to walk into a full room and take each guy one-on-one, like, they're going to wait for you? Like, hold on, they're not done yet. Like,
I mean, and that's the thing. He's trained to take on, like, 20 guys at once around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but he still has to do it in a strategy of, like, breaking it up into 2 and 3 so he can realistically... You know what I mean? Like, if you go in there like Jackie Chan spinning a ladder around your neck, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't expect him to do all that, obviously.
That's the only way you can take on a room full of people, you know what I mean? So shout out to Guy Narduli. He played Batman. I'd say I think like when he's playing the Bruce Wayne, I think he does really fit as a really good Bruce Wayne. I just think like as a Batman, it's extremely difficult to pull off, like we were saying.
It is.
And that brings me to Batman driving just a regular sedan through the streets late at night. You guys threw me off slightly. Don't get me wrong, the shots are beautiful. The drone shot, the aerial view, it looks great. All Mac and I were saying is like, unless he needs to go out and do late night vigilante missions when he needs to blend in the Gen Pop, and also if you look through the window and you see him wearing a bat mask, you clearly see who's behind the steering wheel. But it's like, oh, it's just some guy driving around with a bat mask late night. But you guys kind of threw me off. I think it would have been better off to just shoot the interior car pics of him driving, and then as Mac was saying, for the exterior, if you guys had some way to just CGI the Batmobile on the car or just anything to make it look a little different, you know?
Or it doesn't have to be CGI. It could be like practical effects. Use a Batmobile model, you know what I mean? Like a model car Batmobile. And, you know what I mean? Just do something with that, you know? I mean, if you're able to make the drone shots work and the camera work like that, then you can do something like make a little model city and have the Batmobile drive off like that, you know?
Right. Or if you can't do physical attachments to the actual car itself just to put them on there, like go the CGI route. Anyway, it's not a big criticism, but you guys just kind of threw me off there. Like I said, unless Batman is trying to blend in with the streets, like with his jacket and the car and stuff.
Or maybe the Batmobile was maybe the Batmobile had to be worked over overnight and all that, and he had to go to his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Alfred was working on it.
Alfred was working on it.
Let me go back to it. Yeah, where's Alfred, dude? It's still. I hope in part 3 you guys are going to show Batman's Bruce Wayne mansion with Alfred. Man, it's going to be time to introduce him. If we're sticking with the Batman thing heavy, which it looks like he would be, but I'm gonna definitely get to what I want from part 3 later. So backing up a little bit, they kind of had that flashback. Spoiler alert, you can skip this. Flashback Cyrus origin of when he was like showing, you know, what happened
when he lost it. When his first
that was I thought that was really intelligent. I like the way that was used. I'm not gonna front on you guys at all. We could get a little bit towards like the middle section to the upcoming upcoming catalysts if you want, Mac.
Like what you mean, like for this
when Joker starts creating his Joker gang, and he Dylan has a bunch of great monologues here throughout this whole trajectory. I like how Mac was saying the new guys, like the new gang initiates, they're picking up off the streets, and slight spoiler alert. And the prop guns, how they start rolling out the munitions and the artillery to their gang. I love that whole scene. I'll talk about this one right here, kind of the gang initiation scene, the way they do it, like when they get their gun.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like
that was fire.
You could. I don't know if you noticed, but that was like a slight ode to the Dark Knight. You know how he killed like Michael J. White's character, Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
And then he doing like 2 guys left. He's like, all right, 3 guys left, I think.
All right, aggressive expansion. Yeah, we're having what do you call it? We're having recruiting, or
he said, all right, tryouts, and then
tryouts.
Pull stick into, and then
throw it between them.
Talk about they gotta kill each other. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
aggressive expansion.
That right there is a slight ode to that, just because like you can see who can endure the most,
Yeah.
on each other and all that. And
Yeah, the Fight Club style. Yeah, that was fire. That was a great idea. I love that in the factory. I love every shot they did in the factory. I thought was awesome, and I love how they're handing out the guns. So they come. He kind of blesses them with that big, freaking huge, what is it, 357 or whatever, that giant Magnum pistol. Dirty Harry, freaking.
That was like a perfect gun for the Joker right there. Like big ass gun, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a right weapon.
Grimy. So they get their weapon handed out to them and they bow before him. He blesses them with the big freaking revolver. And even though he doesn't have much dialogue there, he does a great job with the facial expressions and like how he's acting like nonchalantly. Like that scene stood out to me big time when I watched it the first time. So they take the Joker paint and they put it on the initiate's face. And like as they get it, they smile. You know what I mean? And then it's like they're like losing their mind, becoming a Joker soldier. You know. So it's very, what vibes that was for me was I was going to mention to you because you're deep into this with me. Universal Soldier 4: Day of Reckoning, that Universal Soldier Army. It was almost like that Joker army reminded me of like that Unisol army. I'm like, I don't know if they even saw that movie at all, but if not, you guys should check it out because it was a very along the same vibe, and it was could easily be a coincidence, but
it was like a mix of that mixed with like like the old history. Like if you read about like most of the wars that happened in Africa and all that, like how like the overlords are like recruiting the young.
Yeah, I was telling you about that movie, that Idris Elba movie. What was that called? Beast of
a Nation. Yeah,
ridiculous. That movie's
kind of gave me a little vibe of that too.
I feel you. That's cool how we both picked up something different. You know what I mean? Which is good for them. You know what I mean? It's like they might not have even seen either of those, or maybe they have now after the fact. So yeah. Pretty great stuff. I know he has that epic. He has an epic Joker has an epic monologue at the hideout. He does a really good one there. Amazing acting on his part.
Yeah.
And what else did I have on this?
His acting was actually like on point. Just like
yeah.
Like you got the more down low, monotone Cyrus to now the crazy Joker. What I mean? Like
the
his
vocal
energy was really toned up in this one.
The voice change and the laugh. He's got the laugh. I mean, this guy is definitely the independent universe Joker for sure. Oh, as you brought up Dark Knight, I like how this one becomes its own original universe as opposed to them using all the Dark Knight stuff and all the retro legacy Joker stuff and lines that they used in one. I mean, it was cool how they carried it over and blended it and stuff, but I like how this one goes off into its own thing and just becomes more of an original universe as opposed to using any of the Dark Knight verse stuff. You know what I mean? That's definitely the way to go for this with this indie universe, and it's pretty fire. I'm definitely into it. I like this one a lot better than one just because. For that reason, and then just the whole storyline and the whole aesthetic. You know what I mean? The aesthetic definitely has its own original kind of atmosphere and tone and mood to it.
Yeah, I like it that mostly the environment was more darker in this one. I mean, in the first one, obviously, you're gonna have to have scenes that are daylight. Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention right there. Is, Batman never shows out in the day, so they actually had a scene where Batman was out at day.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe he had to because of what was happening with the Joker public opinion, how he was manipulating the public as a vigilantism, and like in that Dark Knight-esque way, Batman was becoming the villain again because he was losing the public opinion to Joker because they were liking him more because of how Joker was marketing himself. You know what I mean? So maybe that forced Batman to go do unusual tactics for it. You know what I mean? Just a theory.
I guess.
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it would have shown, I guess if it was more towards that fact and all that, it could have exposed that fact, but it's whatever. Though, I mean, if that was the case, I guess I ain't even gonna complain about all that. But
no, I see your point though. Yeah. Maybe they just did it to be different though. Who knows?
And I don't know what you thought about the Commissioner Gordon character. No, I thought he was pretty good too.
I thought he was pretty good. I liked the different flavor on him. He was like a more a grimy street one. You know what I mean? Which was cool, right?
Pretty much I would say so. Yeah, I mean, Not to mention like having to resort to other tactics in order to like get because he saw Joker as he's the biggest threat ever. You know what I mean? So even if he had to resort
because he's creating chaos, and anarchy.
Exactly. And then you have to resort to having criminals trying to take him out like Two-Face and all that.
Working with Dent again, but the thing is they know Dent because he used to be with them, so it's like they probably feel nostalgic towards Dent because they have a relationship with him, even if he's not Harvey anymore. You know what I mean? But
basically, yeah.
I like how they show like both sides of like you see like Dent doing the like the crime stuff like at night with like his cartel, but then you see like him with his wife and his family. You kind of see that like he cares about him. So there's like a little bit of Harvey left in Two-Face. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they insinuated. Like he still cares about.
And I kind of like that because they show that humanizes Two-Face. You know what I mean? Like there's still a little bit of Harvey Dent left in him and all that.
Exactly. Maybe
on what justice is and all that. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I like this dynamic of this one, as you were saying before. That switches it up. Now in the first one, you basically had like Joker and like Batman. Well, you had like Black Mask and Riddles and stuff too. But like in this one, it's definitely a different dynamic with Harvey having more power of the city, and then Joker's faction. And then you have like Batman and Gordon. You know what I mean? It's a cool divided up between like the three of them in some ways, and then other characters too. Obviously, the other crime families and the Irish and the Italians. But it's definitely cool watching the struggle for power. So,
not for sure, man. But I got to go into like the biggest criticisms, though. I don't know if you want to talk about the ending.
I mean, we could say like what we think, but I wouldn't say what happens. Just say like what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is there anything else like leading up to there? So what, like Joker does the YouTube video that he leaks to the public, and he controls stuff and whatnot. And then there's a little bit of back and forth between Joker and Harvey and Joker and Gordon, and then Oh, actually, hold on. One thing: when Harvey calls that assassin Victor, I thought that guy was fresh. You know what I mean? And it's like it's supposed to be.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was gonna be like Slade right there for a minute there. I really wanted him to be Deathstroke, yo. Like,
no way, man.
He was armed and
Slade looks like me with gray ass hair and an eye patch and a fucking beard.
Dude, I kind of like, even so, you know what I mean? Like he was a good marksman, and he had guns galore. He was really good with a gun, so it's like, dang, Deathstroke, is it? But obviously that was wishful thinking. You know what I mean? It's just a random hitman that he hired.
Hold that thought. Alec, I sent you an email. I know you guys subscribe to the channel. If you need a Slade for part 3, dude, that's my dream role. So I definitely want to talk to you guys about some behind the scene things. So if we're doing, you talked about Jason Todd. I mean, if we want to bring in some villains or some more vigilantes, anti-heroes, just let me know, man. That's my department, as you can see here from the shirt. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, man, but of course, but not characters like that though. It really does stand out. I actually like the Victor character.
I thought it was like the professional. Our boy, the French actor, John.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, Jean Reno. Yeah.
Or John Reno.
Like the professional. That Victor guy was like a total the professional. Like.
Oh, of course, shoot. Like he had that like cold, exterior about him. You know what I mean?
Cold killer vibe.
Yeah, he had that, was real good with a gun. So yeah, even with that silenced pistol and all that, when he just that spoiler alert, that one scene that he pretty much like infiltrated the Joker's compound.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, yeah, man. I mean, they had Victor Zsasz in there. That was another Batman character and all that, but obviously he died.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, man. No, there's.
I'll say this about the ending, though. I'm not going to spoil that.
Yeah.
But I'll say this much. It was the biggest WTF moment that I've ever seen in my life.
In film history?
Yes, in film history, because I never seen an ending like that end right there in mid-action. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like a straight cutoff. It might as well be a Sopranos episode on the final episode.
Yeah.
Just cut to black, but nah.
Oh, nice, dude. Hold up. Smoking Alien just joined. He said Victor is Mr. Freeze. Oh, nice, dude. That's
Victor Freeze.
Fire, dude. Yes, dude.
Okay.
That's man. Okay. Yeah. He was cool, man. I liked him, dude. He's badass. So, keep going, Mac. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Nah, it's all good. But Nah, other than that though, the ending was definitely the biggest WTF moment. I understand they might make a third one based off how they, the ending.
Yeah, definitely. Alec,
But
we got to talk to you about that, man. Check your email, dude. I shot you one. I finally, unfortunately, YouTube didn't give me notifications when you answered me a year ago, so I had to go back on the video to find it. But anyway, we'll cover that behind the scenes. But
I'll just say, I'll say this though, it could have maybe just ended it off a different way, and then still, lead up to, there will be a part 3 and all that, but. Other than that, though, that ending really kind of threw me off right there. But
I get you. It's
other than that, though, everything else about the movie, I had no issues with.
For sure.
I mean, besides those little other criticisms we talked about, but yeah.
It's the biggest reveal in Batman history, right? Because that's never happened in any of the other canonical Batman films. So. The way that they did it was definitely like unorthodox for where they took it with it, and depending on how you guys are going to continue in part 3, we could get into the part 3 theories. I know you guys had like some of the crowdfunding and stuff, so definitely, you know what I mean. I think that's one option that we should explore. But for part 3, I seen Alec's video about what they wanted to take it in. Definitely Jason Todd. I definitely think get Jason Todd in there if you guys can, and then. You know what I mean? Even go with like, exploring some of the other vigilantes, like we were saying before, other than, Bruce Wayne, like Nightwing, you know what I mean? You got Jason Todd, the Red Hood, Nightwing, a bunch of other options you could go. I mean, I think Slade would definitely be cool. Obviously things are limited on an independent budget, but I definitely would want to see where it would go from there with Joker's Joker army. I think that was one of the best concepts in the film. You know what I mean? If he gains more power and can increase that would definitely be epic to see. You know what I mean? So, but what about you, Mac? You have anything that you want to see in part 3?
I mean, part 3, obviously, the fate of Harvey Dent, because we don't know that. Fate of Batman, because we don't know that. I mean, we know the fate of the other characters and all that, but I think like, besides all that, just round it up a bit. Not to mention like, the look of Batman, being more or look a little more authentic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though it wasn't too bad, it could be worked on. And pleased with the sedan. but other than that though, I'm sure, like like I said, once a director reviews their own movies and all that, they find a little things they could touch up and try to like maybe this could be worked on, maybe that could be worked on. And you never know. 3 could probably be the alma mater of it all. So
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, make the same improvements that you guys made from part 1 to part 2. You know what I mean? And from what they're talking about with part 3 and Jason Todd and all that stuff, it sounds like it would be totally epic. I think just an aggressive crowdfunding campaign for you guys, and I think it would work wonders. You know what I mean? I'd love to get involved and help out. You know what I mean, on the promo on that. So you know what I mean. I think that is definitely the way to go, because you guys are sitting at I think it's almost 6 million views on part 1 and like almost 2.5 million views on that. That's like almost 8 million views. So you could be looking at a lot more. And I'm sure you guys have seen the what is that, a Nightwing series they did on YouTube? There's like one dude has a Red Hood series on YouTube, and another dude has a Nightwing series on YouTube, and they get crazy views. Obviously, they had like an unlimited budget because you could just tell from the quality. But people have definitely done some wild, even on an independent level. I'm talking about like, you know what I mean, millions and millions of views. As far as again, I'm sure it's a budgetary thing and a to some degree a crowdfunding thing. We want to get into our ratings, Mac, and let the boys know. Once again, shout out to Alec, Riddles, everybody that came through on the comments on the last one. And if you want to lead us off, Mac, if you have a rating, you can willing to share it.
I know I probably said this about the first, but for this one, I gave it more of I say 7.5 out of 10.
For sure.
Like I said, like the camera work, a lot more approved than the first time, you know what I mean? Acting was way better on this one. I liked how they expanded, more of the Joker's rising on this one, his rise to crime and chaos and anarchy. Obviously, still little things that could be fixed on and all that, but it's not going to be. It's not doesn't hurt the film too bad. It doesn't hurt you for enjoying the story for what it is, and it doesn't draw you off. Everything else. Of it, little flaws that may have, but other than that, though, I mean, yeah, man, it could be like I said. Other than that, 7.5 on my scale. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. This has a 6.6 on 10. I think that's criminally underslept. I mean, I'm sure guys are expecting you to have some sort of $100 million Batman versus Superman budget, and I guarantee you that if Alec from Smoking Alien Productions had that, he would have made something way better than Batman vs Superman, because that movie was terrible. It was trash. So this should not be a 6.6 on freaking IMDb. I gave you guys an 8. I gave you guys an 8 out of 10 because this movie was fire. Part 3 just upped the action a little bit. You know what I mean? If you could give us a Slade or a Jason Todd, boom, we're all in. Let's pump up the crowd fund and get you guys going big for part 3, because I would love to see the trilogy finished. Part 1 and 2 are epic. Some of the best indies on YouTube. So that's Joker Rising Part 2, the Clown Prince, excuse me. Shout out to Smoking Alien Productions. And we will drop the full length as well as the trailer. And this was amazing. So like, sub, share. We're back with a bunch of different stuff. Mac, you got to finish Fight Club 3. We got our graphic novel edition of the show.
I'll definitely try to finish that. Okay.
And I'm like 2/3 of the way through Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan is ridiculous. It's like the best Marvel book I've ever read. I need
to catch that. I really need to catch that one.
It makes Logan look like Fern Gully, dude. Like Old Man Logan is so hardcore, dude. It's so nuts. I think it's even better than Long Halloween. Also, the Long Halloween on the Batman tip, the Long Halloween animation came out, so we'll see what's up with that. Also, we have a few more indies that we're going to be reviewing, and then hopefully Warrior. Hopefully, if I can get one of you guys on Dark Side of the Ring with me. And what else do we have? That's pretty much everything. Swamp Thing on the DC note. I'm watching Lovecraft Country right now. I think that's pretty much it. Obviously City of Lies on the crime tip. So yeah, we got shows prepared for you guys. So like, sub, share. Appreciate the views. Shout out to the 2 viewers. Give us some likes, you know what I mean? If you guys like the content, definitely check out Joker Rising 2. It was epic. Paradigm Review Show. We are out. Look out for more independent shorts, independent feature reviews. We're looking to hopefully go on and off, so we do like an indie every other review, because I don't think there's many people reviewing indie stuff on the tube. So that's our mission. Whether or not we are going to pull that off or not, you don't really know. We're kind of super inconsistent with it. We barely even got this show done, but we got it done. We're out. Paradigm Review Show. Mac the Critic, follow us on Twitter. Leave your feedback. What'd you think of the film? Give us whatever else you want us to review below.